All right, everybody. I wanted to do something different right now just to experiment a bit. Since I have a bit of a slightly more comfortable setup, I thought we'd demo it by checking Twitter. I'm going to try and break this up into chunks so that way I'm not hopefully exposing y'all to anything that would violate the YouTube terms of service. That would be bad. So with that in mind, first thing that we see here, Sticks Hexenhammer 666 reposted. The New York Times just published this about Trump today. They are truly callous and despicable human beings, not a shred of empathy. So this was on the New York Times front page, Sunday opinion. Just days after, one day after an assassination attempt on Trump's life. Truly a crazy thing to witness so close to the event happening.
That will be turned on you.
Let's see what
Free speech. And free speech only matters, it's only relevant when it's someone you don't like saying something you don't like, because obviously speech that you like is,
yes,
it's easy. So it's the thing about censorship is that, sure, for those who would advocate it, just remember, at some point, that will be turned on you.
So, amen to that. Can agree 100%. Free speech means that you have to allow for speech that you disagree with. Top chatter Agatha posts, hot take, going after someone's employment is a shitty thing to do for saying some shit like that. Don't get me wrong, you guy's an asshole though. He reposts, or rather quotes, libs of TikTok. Attention everyone near Grand Rapids, Missouri. Tupelo Honey Southern Kitchen and Bar employs this person, who is very sad that the shooter missed. He already took his employment out of his bio, but we just called and confirmed that he still currently works there. So, speaking of free speech, it should be totally someone's right to not only hold that opinion, but to be able to publicly say so in a safe forum where they don't have to worry about any sort of repercussions on their livelihood, even though they do wish harm on someone else. It's totally their right to have and project that opinion, in my opinion. So this one seems interesting. Doomfist bug list. Doomfist. Doom now has 54 bugs based on what we think is bug. It used to be 71. Interesting. I'm not sure what Doomfist is, but Get Quaked On makes me think that this is directly related to the old school classic game Doom. So Ben Shapiro reposts Jeremy Boring, who quotes Destiny, who originally says, "This is the fucking retard that got killed at a Trump rally. Fucking LMAO." Corey Comparator. So Jeremy Boring says, "This is the saddest meltdown I've ever seen. Truly, man, shut it down. You're not accomplishing anything for your cause, country, or your soul. You'll regret this outburst when the adrenaline dies down and the shame kicks in. Find a friend and listen to them." But I'm not a big fan of Destiny at all. Like, I think he's a disgusting rage baiter, for lack of a better term. And I feel like his takes are outlandish, to say the least. He has a lot of anger in him. Errata Rob has a lot of political takes. For anyone who doesn't know who he is, he's the creator of Black Ice, IPS, Sidejacking, and Masscan. In other words, a very high up figure in the tech world. He says, "We solve our issues at the ballot box. Sure, Trump is a threat to democracy. He demanded his VP pronounce him the winner of the 2020 election, bypassing voters, the law, and the Constitution. But he's a 1 out of 10 threat. Assassinating political candidates is a 9 out of 10 threat to democracy.
And for America. But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box.
At the battle box, for sure. Sure, had Trump's plot succeeded, that would have been 10 out of 10, justifying revolution. But on the whole, the plot had little chance of succeeding, and Trump didn't try really hard. It was more that he didn't oppose a plot hatched by others to keep him in power. This opens the door for the other side. Now that so many have publicly stated that they wish the attempt had succeeded, lone gunmen and militias who support Trump are taking this as tacit support for assassination being allowed for both sides, which is a problem. It should be noted that 2 days before the attempt on Trump, Joe Biden tweeted, "No more free passes for Donald Trump. We're going to say who he is and what he intends to do. He's a convicted criminal." And today, 1 hour ago,
for any violence ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that. Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high. I've said it many times that the choice in this election we make in this election is going to shape the future of America and the world for decades to come. I believe that with all my soul. I know that millions of my fellow Americans believe it as well. And some have a different view as to the direction our country should take. Disagreement is inevitable in American democracy. It's part of human nature. But politics must never be a literal battlefield, and God forbid, a killing field. I believe politics ought to be an arena for peaceful debate, to pursue justice, to make decisions guided by the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. We stand for an America, not of extremism and fury, but of decency and grace. All of us now face the time of testing as the election approaches. And the higher the stakes, the more fervent the passions become. This places an added burden on each of us to ensure that no matter how strong our convictions, we must never descend into violence.
Amen to that. I'm probably voting for the convicted criminal. Well, finally, you guys are going to start being hard on Donald Trump. You've all been so gracious for 8 years. Hunter Biden is a convicted felon. We get it, though. I heard you think the wrong son died. Must be hard having a drug addict convicted felon as a son who fucked your dead son's wife. Jesus Christ. Americans were far better under President Trump. That's an objective fact. Objectively hilarious Nazi-owned website. Immediately below that, Keffel, who thinks that the shooter should have hit, also calls for people to help out someone named Noble Q Ali, who is a good man going through a hard time after serious injury, has made it harder to support his wife and kids. Every bit counts. This takes me to some offline link for a GoFundMe. So, help that guy out if you can. A fully automated hipster coffee barista exists. I tried it and it works well and tastes great. Crazy. Alright, well I think that's enough Twitter for right now.